The mountain wind howled through the pine trees as Daniel tightened his coat around him. He hadn't cried at the funeral, couldn't, really. It wasn't just the shock of losing his father, it was the creeping terror that one day he too would lie still with no more tomorrows. Death had knocked on his family's door, and now it lived rent-free in his chest, whispering questions no one could answer. With a week off work and no desire to return to the humdrum of emails and deadlines, Daniel booked a retreat in a remote Buddhist monastery in the Colorado Rockies. He wasn't spiritual. He didn't believe in rebirth or karma. He was just tired and afraid. On his third day, Daniel found himself sitting opposite a serene old monk with silver hair and eyes like still water. The monk's name was Brother Tama. When Daniel confessed his fear of death, his voice cracked like the ice underfoot. I wake up every night with my heart pounding. It's not just my dad. It's me, my wife, my kids. Everyone I love will vanish. It's unbearable. How do you live with that? Brother Tama listened, nodding slowly. Then he smiled. Come with me. I want to show you something. They hiked to a frozen clearing just beyond the monastery. In the center stood a twisted, gnarled tree, stark against the snow. It was dead, at least it looked that way. Brother Tama knelt beside it and brushed snow from its roots. This tree blooms with pink blossoms every spring. But in winter, it appears lifeless. Still, the roots hold warmth. The tree is not afraid of the cold, it surrenders to it. Daniel frowned. But it is dead. Or it looks dead. Exactly, said the monk. What you call death might just be a season of transformation. Daniel wanted to believe him. But beliefs couldn't undo fear. Later that evening, while helping in the monastery's kitchen, Daniel noticed a young girl, no older than 6, peering silently through the window. Her face was gaunt, her coat torn at the sleeves. The monks noticed too, but none of them spoke. They simply filled a bowl of hot soup and placed it just outside the door. The girl took it with trembling hands, nodded, and vanished into the snowy dusk. Who is she? Daniel asked. She comes every winter, Brother Tama said. She lives with her grandmother in the valley. They have very little. Can't we bring her in? Give them more. The monk smiled gently. We have offered, but the grandmother is proud. So we give what we can in silence and respect. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. The image of the girl lingered. The next morning, he hiked down to the valley with an extra blanket and a loaf of bread. When he found the shack, it was barely standing. The grandmother, eyes dim with age, took the gifts without words, but tears pooled in her eyes. Over the next few days, Daniel returned often, helping mend the roof, carrying firewood, even teaching the little girl how to read using worn monastery books. With every act, something shifted. The weight on his chest lightened. Fear didn't vanish, but it grew quieter, less urgent. On his final day at the monastery, Daniel sat once more with Brother Tama. I don't know what changed, he said. I'm still afraid, but not like before. Brother Tama poured tea, his movements slow and mindful. Fear of death is fear of losing meaning. But when we give ourselves to others, even in small ways, we plant seeds that outlive us. Kindness makes echoes. That is how we live beyond our bodies. Daniel looked toward the snowy hills, where the little girl was likely reading now by candlelight. A slow smile crept across his face. She told me yesterday she wants to be a teacher. There you go, said the monk. You have already lived twice. Epilogue. Years later, when Daniel was old and gray, he kept a photo on his desk of a smiling young woman holding a classroom sign, Miss Lila's first grade. Behind her, on the wall, hung a faded picture of a monastery and a tree blooming pink in spring. Daniel died peacefully, not with fear, but with love echoing in every life he'd touched.